Hello and welcome back to the channel. Okay, recently CEO Jim Ryan of PlayStation come out and said about his view on PlayStation and its future with regards to games and its market reach. So he come out and actually, let me just show you what he had to say about it.
I'd also like to see a world where the games that we make at PlayStation can be enjoyed by many tens of millions of people, perhaps hundreds of millions of people. Because right now, success with the existing console model, a really great PlayStation hit, you're talking 10 or 20 million people able to play that game. And if you compare that, and we're talking about games stacking up against music, we're talking about games stacking up against movies. Music and movies, they can be enjoyed by almost limitless audiences. And I think some of the art that our studios are making is some of the finest entertainment that's been made anywhere in the world. And to kind of gate the audience for the wonderful art, the wonderful entertainment these studios are making, to gate the audience for that at 20 or 30 million frustrates me.
Now, it's a very interesting topic because it's basically said a lot of what I've been saying from the beginning about the whole exclusives. He even mentions gatekeeping. He doesn't want to gatekeep games. He wants them to be available to everyone. He wants them to go out to not tens of millions, but hundreds of millions. And you'll not do that by restricting your games to just console. And then he further goes on to sort of explain it further by pointing out music and movies. Their audience is limitless because they're not gatekept anywhere. They're not restricted. You don't need to buy anything to only, like, you don't have to buy a console, for example, just to watch a particular movie. Like, movies aren't restricted just for the cinema, for example. They go on cinema and then they're released out into the world for anyone to watch anywhere. You can pretty much watch any movie anywhere. You are getting now where you get subscription services where you're getting Disney films restricted to just obviously that and Netflix and stuff like that. But there's still you can still get ways to watch these movies. Like you can the films that have come onto Disney, for example, are also in the cinema, so that it's not completely gatekept. It's kind of what Xbox are doing right now. They're not gatekeeping their games per se because their games are going on Xbox and PC. It's just that if you've got a Switch and a PlayStation, you cannot play their games, but they're not restricting 100% gatekeeping their studios, and that's what their games, and that's what Jim Ryan is hinting at. He's clearly hinting at expanding the market reach for their games by putting them on more platforms, and he's looking at the recent acquisitions. They bought Nixus, who port games to PC, and this is entirely what he's looking at doing. Is clear now, which we've said that from the beginning anyway. We said that for a while back, and I've always been against exclusives anyway. I think games should be open and free to everyone to play. No game should be gatekept. People shouldn't be forced to buy a console that they don't want to own or purchase or whatever just to play the games. Games should be free for anyone to play, and let the games do the talking, let the software do the talking, and that's how the companies make their money anyway. So that's how you're going to support devs, by buying the software or playing into subscription services, because equally the devs equally get paid if they're in a subscription service. People under the illusion that the devs don't get paid for some reason. They're working for free, which is just stupid. You're just stupid if you think that. You're not living in 2021, you're living in, I don't know, 1980s still. But clearly Jim wants to do this. He wants to expand the PlayStation universe, and the problem is the Sony fans are restricting that, and they are actually holding down Sony and saying no, exclusivity. We don't want people to play our games, which is completely ignorant and selfish, really, and stupid, because they are ultimately harming the Sony as a company, because they cannot compete with Xbox. Xbox are buying up studios, everything's going to go to Xbox. And with all that said, this is why I actually agree with Jim Ryan. I know it's a horrible thought, but he's right. The only way you can, and this is why they got him in, the only way Sony can compete with Xbox, compete with other markets, compete with Amazon or whatever, is by expanding their market reach and not limiting themselves. People are going to say, oh, Switch does it, Switch is a completely different economic sort of area. They're chasing the mobile gaming sector. I mean, they're massively popular in Japan in a way. 99% of gamers in Japan own and buy Switches, and like a small percent buy PlayStation and their games. Everyone's a Switch gamer. Everyone buys Switch. You can't even put them in the same market, because people own PlayStation and own Switch, or people own Xbox and own Switch. People own PC also own Switch, because it's a completely different genre of games, completely different style, and the mobility. So don't even include Switch in this with the, oh, but Switch doesn't do it. Ridiculous. The console market, the competition is Xbox, PlayStation, because they're both competing for the same market. And if Sony want to keep in that, they need to expand their vision, expand their platform, get away from just PlayStation. They need to open up onto PC. And I agree with him. If I was in the company, I would do exactly the same. This is why I think Xbox is doing the right thing by doing it. That's what they see years ago. This is why they're a big $1 trillion company. They must have investors and financial experts looking to think, how can we expand? How can we make money? PC, mobile, they're the biggest markets for gaming and software and making money. Let's go to them. And they've done that. And now Sony is a bit behind, slowly trying to catch up on that. Then you've got things like Game Pass. Remember, Game Pass has got 20 million subscribers. How many PS5s on the market? 10 million. So every time a game releases into Game Pass, it's going to hit 20 million straight off the bat. Whereas a game exclusive to PS5, it's going to hit 10 million. Then you've got that. People don't take things like that into account. And as I said, the hardest task really is trying to convince a majority of their fan base that are so dedicated to exclusivity and shilling for a corporation, Sony, with that an open mind, with blinkered vision, that they're the ones that are going to corrupt and ultimately destroy Sony. I mean, you've got people, the Sony side, creating cults and things and sending death threats to developers and that if they don't do as they say, as they want. It's just a weird mix of people, really. Let me hear your thoughts and your comments down below. Please sub, share and like. Smack that button, slap that like button and the sub button and the little alarm button thing. I'm not sure what that's called. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you agree with Jim? Do you think it's good for Sony to expand? Do you think competition is good in this sense? Or do you not agree with Jim? And do you want exclusivity and Sony to continue to gate everything, gate gaming to particular people? Let me know what you think. Thank you all for watching and goodbye for now.